If you're trying to decide between Wellington and Palm Beach Gardens, you're probably thinking they're pretty similar. Nice homes, good schools, great communities. But once you actually start looking, you realize very quickly they are completely different. And choosing the wrong one can really affect your day to day life. Hi, I'm Linda Brennan with the Brennan team, and I've been helping buyers move into Palm Beach County for over 20 years, especially in areas like Wellington, Loxahatchee, Royal Palm Beach, and Palm Beach Gardens. And this is one of the most common comparisons I walk people through because on paper they look similar, but in real life they feel very different. Let's start with the overall vibe. Wellington is very intentional about maintaining a small town feel. It's a village, and life tends to stay within that village. Even though it's not super walkable for entertainment, there's a lot going on inside Wellington itself. Wellington really caters to very specific lifestyles and interests. The equestrian world is a huge part of this town. Wellington is the winter equestrian capital of the world. You'll have hunter jumper, dressage, polo, and during season from January through April, the population here basically doubles with people coming in from all over the world. And that seasonal shift is something that people don't always expect because it changes traffic, pricing, and the overall energy of the town. There's also the Aero Club, which is completely different lifestyle from the rest. You'll find homes with hangars. People are able to fly private planes in and out from their own backyard because they can keep a plane right there on their property. So it's very unique, and it's something you really don't see in many other places. And then there's the other half of Wellington, the people who don't really care about horses or planes at all. And they're here for the schools, the parks, and the family environment. That's what makes Wellington so balanced. Weekends in Wellington are very community centered. You'll see families at Village Park, events at the Wellington Amphitheater, food truck concerts, green markets. It's very much a stay in town lifestyle. You're not constantly leaving to find things to do. There's plenty. It's already built into the community. Now, Palm Beach Gardens feels very different. It's more polished and more centered around lifestyle amenities. It feels more like a hub than a village. Gardens is known as the golf capital of the world. You have PGA National, where they host the Cognizant Classic and Sandhill Crane Golf Club, and communities that have a strong club lifestyle. For a lot of residents, their social lives revolve around these clubs. But it's not just golf anymore. They have really nice parks, and where they really stand out is District Park. The soccer fields are some of the best in South Florida. They are in amazing condition. In fact, the Portuguese national soccer team is scheduled to train there for the 2026 FIFA World Cup. We're also seeing a lot of growth with pickleball. So it's a very active lifestyle and driven environment. The social life is also very different. You have the Gardens Mall, which is thriving with high-end stores, and downtown Palm Beach Gardens, PGA Commons, restaurants, coffee spots, and events with live music near the water. This is where people gather. This is where people go out. In Wellington, you stay more in the community. In Palm Beach Gardens, your lifestyle expands outward. And that big difference alone is a deciding factor for a lot of buyers. Now let's talk about real estate, because this is, again, where buyers can get surprised. Most people don't expect is how differently your money behaves once you cross over the Florida Turnpike. So in Palm Beach Gardens, you are often paying for location, proximity to the water, and overall prestige, and that comes at a premium. So a $1.2 million budget might get you a beautifully renovated home around 2,400 square feet in an established community. In Wellington, that same budget often gets you significantly more space, maybe a 3,500 square foot home, and on a larger lot, more of that estate lifestyle feel. So you're really choosing between location and space. And then there's the size of the lot, because this is a big difference. In Palm Beach Gardens, homes are often built around golf courses or communities, which means they're closer together, often a zero lot line. Sometimes that's much closer than buyers expect. In Wellington, especially in certain neighborhoods, you'll find larger lots and even acre properties. So you're not just buying a house, you're buying space and privacy and a buffer from everything else around you. Another surprise is the age of the homes. So in Palm Beach Gardens, a lot of the homes were built in the 70s and 80s. While many of them have been beautifully renovated, you're still working with an older structure. And that can come with things that buyers don't always think about, like older systems, lower ceilings, tighter spaces. Where Wellington had a big construction boom in the late 90s and early 2000s, so even some of their older homes feel more modern with higher ceilings, open layouts, and maybe a 3-car garage. And these are features that buyers are often looking for today. And then there's the HOA Community and Lifestyle. In Palm Beach Gardens, a lot of the lifestyle revolves around clubs with memberships. And those memberships can come with significant buy-ins, often mandatory memberships. So sometimes a buyer will purchase a home and then realize that the lifestyle they envisioned requires another level of investment. In Wellington, the lifestyle is more centered around family amenities, parks, sports, community events. It's less about membership and more about access to shared spaces. Now let's talk about something that affects your daily life more than you might realize, is the location and the proximity. So a lot of people come to Florida thinking, I'll be at the beach all the time. But the reality is Wellington is not a beach town, it's a backyard town. Even though it doesn't look far on the map, you're typically about 35 to 45 minutes from the beach. And then once you factor in traffic and parking, you don't just pop over, you plan a day around it. And that's a mindset shift for a lot of buyers. Palm Beach Gardens is different. You're a lot closer east. You're often 10 to 15 minutes from Juno Beach. You can go for a quick walk in the morning and then be back before work. That proximity really changes how often you use the beach. Driving patterns are different too. In Wellington, you're not really dealing with highway traffic. The traffic flow is intentional. So the lights are timed to help control the speed and keep things moving safely through the village. So instead of rushing through, you're moving through it more steadily. And especially during the season, you'll see a lot of golf carts heading to and from the shows. You'll see horse trailers on the road, and it gives Wellington a different kind of rhythm. It almost feels like its own little island, just without the water. In Palm Beach Gardens, you do have easy access to I-95, the Turnpike, Jupiter, and West Palm Beach, which is a big advantage. But especially in Eastern Palm Beach Gardens, that convenience comes with more congestion. There's a lot of shopping, a lot of activity, and not a lot of extra space on the roads for expansion. So the main roads can get very busy. Now, inside some of the larger communities, especially the golf communities, it feels very different. They're more spread out, more self-contained, and that's where you'll really see people using golf carts to get around. But once you're out on the main roads, it's mostly cars, and that's where you'll really feel the traffic. Even the way you move around day to day is different. In Wellington, you might find yourself behind a horse trailer, especially during season. And yes, sometimes the traffic delay is literally a horse crossing the road to get to the showgrounds. And then walkability. Neither area is truly a walkable city in the city sense, but they do function differently. So Wellington is built for movement with bikes, strollers, trail systems, and Palm Beach Gardens is built for destinations. So you drive somewhere, you park, and then once you are out, you walk around the shops and the restaurants and events. Now, before you decide, let's talk about who might not be a good fit for each of these. If you picture Florida as a beach life, salt air, and spontaneous water access, Wellington may not feel the way that you expect. If you want true walkability or a more urban feel, it may feel too quiet. And if the equestrian lifestyle doesn't appeal to you, that part of the culture can feel overwhelming during season. On the other side, if you're dreaming of space and privacy, a big backyard, Palm Beach Gardens can be surprising. Homes are often closer together, and that elbow room is harder to find. So if you're trying to stay budget conscious, the club lifestyle can also be a factor. But if you're looking for quiet, Palm Beach Gardens is more active and connected and busier overall. At the end of the day, this isn't about which one is better. It's about which one fits your lifestyle. So if you're someone who values space, community, and a slower pace, Wellington may feel a little more like home. If you want proximity to the coast, more social activity, and a polished, connected lifestyle, Palm Beach Gardens might be the better fit. And if you're trying to figure out which one makes sense for you, I offer a quick 15-minute introductory call. We can walk through your goals, your lifestyle, and help you make the right decision. And if there's something that you'd specifically like me to cover in another video, or a question that you have about one of these areas, please let me know in the comments. I love connecting with people and helping you get clarity before you make a move. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.